One of the things I really applaud you for is that you had a 2 crore rupee offer to do a fairness cream ad. And you not just turned it down, you said you're embarrassed and ashamed of every colleague of yours in the industry. And this includes both men and women and some of the biggest stars who do market fairness products. What made you say that?
Like I said, I really thank my ex, a white guy I was dating, because growing up, I didn't come through conversations like this, and I thank you and people like you who, I don't know how much change people like you can bring about, but at least you're talking about it. The one who is willing to have that awareness, or maybe fortunate enough to have that awareness, would actually get it from you. So growing up, I didn't see anything wrong with fairness cream. In fact, I thought it was actually cool to be fair or not to be fair.
Did you use it growing up?
I think I was quite pale growing up. I didn't need it, but like I said, I didn't see anything wrong with fairness cream. But when I was dating this white guy, he teased me like, "Oh, you guys are so funny. You openly sell fairness cream. It's not acceptable, you know." And I'm like, "Why is that?" It's like, because it's not acceptable that you're trying to tell your race that you shouldn't be this way, and should and that's the time actually I realized that what we are doing, how we are sort of giving our generation complexes and not letting them be confident and not letting them find beauty in their own race, And it's just this whole new world opened up to me, and I'm like, what are we doing as people? The whole world is laughing at us, And he used to tease me that, so you must be thinking that I am fair and lovely because I'm white, and I hated that. And I think in a relationship also, you wouldn't want to have the other person have that kind of upper hand because you as the population behaving so stupid, So
what do you think of your colleagues who do market fair and lovely or fairness products?
Fairness product, I think it's very, very irresponsible. If tomorrow I have a dark kid, who's got, who's, like I said, dark, I don't want my kid to think that he needs to get lighter or she needs to get lighter. I would be extremely embarrassed and wouldn't know how to deal with the situation if my child is watching that advert. I wouldn't know how to tell him or her that it's supposed to be that way. I wouldn't know because the whole world is saying something else, and I would be in a very, very awkward situation.
So you're embarrassed by your colleagues in the industry who market these products?
You need a headline, don't you?
And you're giving me one. No, but speak openly. Yeah.
Speak openly.
Do you feel angry when you see others do it? Do you feel contempt? Do you just ignore it?
Well, I definitely feel embarrassed. We don't have to be fair. There's so many things we can work on, but definitely not our complexion. We are perfect. And obviously, like I said, beauty is everywhere, but we need to make our women confident. We need to let them find their confidence. And when you show an advert where a brown person goes for an interview and gets humiliated, and then she goes back and puts on this thing and goes back being a little bit more lighter and get the job. What are you saying? Come on, this is so stupid.
Yeah, I agree. Your sister was the victim of an acid attack, and you really helped her through it and got her back on her feet. But speak a little bit about how that experience shaped you and your views on violence against women. What you saw your sister do.
Well, my sister is an acid attack survivor, and she's quite a hero of her own. I really can't speak for her, but I can.
But for you to watch her going through what she had after that.
I don't know. I just feel that we are just so all over the world, not just in India. Just winning and success is so overrated. Because anyway, nothing lasts. So rejection is so hard to deal with for anyone. And people who, like growing up in schools also, coming first was such a big deal. Even my own family, like how the kind of trauma I had to go through when the year I didn't stand first. My parents treated me like, oh my God, you've done some sort of crime. So that kind of attitude. So I think, especially men, there's no acceptance for the fact that this woman doesn't want me or she doesn't have feeling for
This
me.
was the rejected suitor.
Yeah, I mean, usually that is the intention. Or I think 90% violence against women, that kind of rejection triggers it. That if I can't
The
acquire you,
inability to accept no as no.
yes. So yeah, I've been through struggle for 10 years, and I think what shaped me up as a person today, I don't know how much success people see me as, like that is very external sort of aspect of one's growth, but within me, I think I'm a very successful person on a very personal level, because the way I dealt with my failures has been very, very heroic, and I would like to write a book about that. That how, I mean, success will never teach you anything, and failures, you know, when you lose something, how to deal with it and not lose your self-respect and your self-worth. If 10 years of rejection, humiliation, embarrassment,
You're talking about yourself.
my own self, you know, if that would have made me believe in what the whole world thought of me as, you know, like they thought of me as a loser or whatever, I didn't think of myself as that. I didn't think of myself as what my parents thought of me or the world thought of me. And that's why I could do what I did in my life. So I feel no matter what kind of crime is there, we need to tell our children it's okay to fail. There's nothing wrong in failing. Nothing lasts forever. So that kind of spirit has to be there, you know.
What was the toughest thing for you in these 10 years? And what was the most cruel thing you heard said about yourself?
I think body shaming is one.
Body shaming?
Yeah. A journalist openly wrote that this girl from mountains who has frizzy hair and a lizard-like body.
A journalist wrote
In a review of Gangster, it's like a body like a lizard or something. And I'm like, okay. Yeah, that was.
And people made fun of your accent, they called you the Pahari Ladki. You taught yourself English. Why was that important to you?
It was important to me because I wanted to reach out to many people. I don't always see failure and criticism as something which is out to destroy me. Like, yeah, I definitely can't do anything about the lizard thing, but whatever, I think all the criticism that I get, I have a very objective point of view to that, and I've been always like that, and that really helped me and shaped my personality. I wanted to reach out to many people, especially in Mumbai, where not many people speak Hindi. And
so how did you teach yourself?
I have a tutor. Who works on my accent and on my language when I get time. So the idea is to reach out to as many people I do, and we travel a lot, and sometimes I get to attend these very significant summits and all of that. So I want to reach out to many people. Like my parents made me feel like all the time I was like, just quietly and do things like that. So I had to sort of, you know, have this this thing, okay fine, I must be a baddie, but I want this, I want to do this. So I'm very comfortable with being a baddie. Whereas I feel we need to let our girls be like as if overly ambitious. When people said, oh, you were so ambitious and date shani kisi ko achhi nahi lagti. I remember someone telling me that. I was okay with that. I don't feel anything wrong in being date shani. That's your definition of a smart woman. I even don't mind calling myself a bitch, but I do have a different definition for that.
What's yours?
Babe in total control of herself. So that's okay. People can call me names, but
this is a new trend. It's very interesting. That's what I write about in my book. That today, the urban feminist especially is embracing, you know, what a slut used to be a bad word. Now you have slut walks. There used to be shame around menstruation. Now you have people actually pinning sanitary pads on campuses. You're saying I'll embrace the word bitch. This is interesting, but we still can't seem to answer a very simple question: are you a feminist? Without women going into yes, no, maybe, if, but. So let me ask you, are you a feminist?
Oh well, yes.
Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad that there is a simple answer to that question.